Welcome back to the Life School Masterclass Show, a place where visionary leaders build a life and business legacy on purpose through mindset, branding, marketing, sales, systems, and team so they can make an amazing impact and income and positively affect their communities worldwide. Ensure that you are sharing this show, you're subscribing, and you also are leaving us a review so we can create more amazing content around those areas to help you level up to the next level and also bring amazing guest experts that can share their knowledge and expertise with you so that you can create amazing legacy. All right, Legacy Builders, welcome back to another show. I'm so excited to be back with you and with another amazing guest and conversation. And today we're going to talk about showing up. I know showing up is it's what they say 80% of success, right? Showing up for what we want, showing up for our business, showing up for our service, showing up for the impact that we want to create in the world. So who better than Marcy Axelrod? I hope that I said your last name correct, Marcy, based out of Westchester, out of all the places in the world, to be able to kind of give us, give us some insight around today's topic. So, Marcy, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for being here.
Elona, thank you for being here. And I'm really glad that you framed this with the word legacy, because the bigger picture of our lives is really what showing up is all about. It is about expanding our lens so that we recognize that we're not a little piece, we're not a part of something. And showing up is not what we think it is either. We're actually designed to show up a certain way. And that is what we're going to get into.
I love it because I talk about it, authenticity here a lot, and we understand that the more you physically develop yourself and you learn about yourself, how important that is to actually be competitive in business, to be innovative in your business, to be able to create, to be that person that is bringing something unique to the table. But that's all connected with you knowing yourself. So it's definitely something that we all are very interested in here in this audience. So, Marcy, let's dive right into the topic. So, how we're designed to show up for success. So, what do you mean by that? I know you also have an amazing book out teaching people around this very important topic. So,
Yes, I feel so grateful. Yeah, the book launches next month. Mel Robbins offered a testimonial, so that is on the cover. That's very exciting. I mean, what you just mentioned is authenticity and being true to ourselves, and I want to dive right in there. Because the self is only one of three roles. And when we view all of ourselves and our legacy as just a single self, that's actually a misunderstanding. And that is a big source of the challenges that we have, the mental health issues, the strife in society, the wars. I mean, it is big. Let me explain. Evolutionarily, we aren't like spiders where we come out of an egg and we go on our way. We only survived as human beings because we were able to coordinate and collaborate with others, because we had a loving being who picked us up, who fed us, who kept us alive. Like, we aren't born able to feed ourselves. We aren't even born able to see. We aren't born able to walk. We exist because of others. So the word self, it's only one of three of our roles, it turns out. The other two roles are that we're always look around. We're always in a situation, be it with another person, be it with our phone, be it with a bottle of water, be it with we are always part of something else, and there's a flow and it's active. So I call that our situation member role. But that's not it either. We're also, look further, we're also a part of something beyond ourselves. Call it society, call it a school system, call it a family, call it a corporate culture. So we're actually in three roles. And the more we recognize that we're in all three, guess what? We naturally reconstitute ourselves, not as a fractured part, not as something that's lonely or unworthy or an imposter or afraid. but as something where we recognize we're part of the flow. There's a mutual symbiosis and reverberation of impact. So there's a co-creation that's always going on between us, whatever the immediate situation is, and with the rest of what's out there, a religion, a spirituality, a family, a relationship. So that's the core of showing up, and it's irrefutable. If you picture early humans out in the savannah wearing maybe a loincloth or nothing or whatever it may be, we have always been that individual self within a situation. Maybe we're building a shelter and part of something larger. So I'm going to pause there, but understanding the truth about showing up, and the book goes into what is self, what is situation member, what is societal member, what are our three roles, but also how do we do them each well?
I
And
love how you separate all of those, because we can all understand each one of those in their own, I guess, parallel ways, or separate ways. And then my next natural question for you, Marcy, is how do we align all of those and then be authentic to ourselves, but also be able to achieve success on our own terms, which is authentic, right? And be able to define success from the inside out. These are things that we talk about here very often. So how do we do that?
Love that question, Elona, and thank you, because people need to hear that. So how do we achieve success authentically and from the inside out? So the way that we do that is we recognize that the grounding in ourselves that we need comes from recognizing that we're not a fractured part. We are actually part of each other. And with that, there's an inherent care that comes out. And when I care about you and you care about me, regardless of whether I'm the boss or you're the boss, or you're the child and I'm the parent, or you're the spouse who's not doing the dishes, we interact differently. We interact with an outward mindset. And then guess what? The fear disappears and the imposter syndrome disappears. And our boundaries naturally show up. Why? Because instead of coming at someone, we can come from a place of, I know that you're stressed and you had a busy day. How can I help you? How can I get out of your way so that you can naturally step into the rest of the responsibilities that we share in our households or for our customers? So when customers feel our care, they show up for us. So there's no more us and them. It's much more we're leaves on a tree, we're a drop of water in the ocean.
I love it. This is so aligned and isn't everything anyway. I just made a post about something similar today around how to serve our audience, how to serve the people that we want to create impact with. And it's really around the equation of 3-to-1, right? Serve in order to build trust and add value, serve people 3 times, and then, ask them 1 time, right? Because a lot of times, we're programmed into more of our selfish needs of always trying to see what's in it for us, but really understanding and serving others and coming out and being in service to others as we serve ourselves as well, because that's also important. And for a lot of entrepreneurs, and especially women as well, I know it's a struggle because we're just taught to serve the entire world, right? So it's really shifting this dynamic. And I love how you also said that these don't have to be separate things. They're all part of our, identity, our values, our vision, our mission. And then when we get to go after the goals that we set for ourselves, then we're authentic, we're aligned with the values that we're after, so that of course we start attracting the right people that value us. Because another big pain point, which I've experienced myself, is sometimes we attract people because they are just what's in it for me kind of mindset as well. So the more we kind of show up and do that inner work, the more we start to also attract the right people in our community as well. Powerful stuff and powerful work that you're doing out there, Marcy. I am looking for sponsors for this podcast that aligns with our mission of helping purpose driven entrepreneurs and CEOs in the service space do more good in the world through legacy entrepreneurship. Your offer, your mission, your vision of your business will be featured inside our episodes. We have a daily show here at the Life School Masterclass Show in 30-minute increments, 5 days a week. So your offer, your message, your vocation will be featured inside our show twice a week for 30 seconds. And I suggest that you put your offer through our podcast for at least 3 to 6 months for repeated consistency and for repeated trust building so that the audience starts to know, like, and trust you, and also can take advantage of the amazing opportunity that you might have with your offer. If you're looking for more information on this podcast sponsorship opportunity, my email is right underneath the screen. Send me an email and we'll be able to further discuss this collaboration opportunity. Marcy, what is the title of your book? I know I saw you in your book. Can you give us the title of your book?
Yes, How We Choose to Show Up. And the reason I titled it that, How We Choose to Show Up, is because agency is a massive part of this, right? And while we are very much more leaves on a tree than separate islands, as I mentioned in both of my TED Talks, right? We are leaves on a tree. We're still making a choice with our moments. And this is part of the readiness for our situational role, right? There's a skill for each role. But I want to mention that what your listeners are largely doing to help themselves, which is what we all do. We do breathing, we do meditation, we do yoga, we journal, we think about compassion, and we do all of those things. When you think about it, are helping us to show up in all three roles. Because when you breathe, you reset from your left hemisphere, like get it done mode, which is all about you having power over things, which is not the right way to do it, to the right-brained, expansive connectedness mode. And that is when, Elona, that is when I can actually sense what you're feeling. And that's when I read the language of your social cues. And that's only when. So everything that we're already doing is inconsistent of what I call level 3, truly showing up, which is recognizing, well, living the truth of we are always a self within a situation and a member of something larger, self, situation, society. So I just want to call that to people's attention, that everything that you're doing is already wired within the model of this truth of how we're designed to show up.
And I love it. And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of wisdom in the book. The reason why I love books and I call them legacy products,
yes,
I've written a couple myself, is because, there's decades of experience that I'm sure that you have included inside your book. So definitely a great product to grab for people that, are interested around this topic. But also, I'm sure that could be applied to everything we do in life, not just our businesses, right? Because I always say we're humans first. Then we have businesses, we have, children, we have partners, we have friends, we have all the things outside of our container here. So I love that you mentioned that. Marcy, I'd like to get a little bit of insight around the purpose behind the work that you're doing. What are some of the most meaningful moments that led you to this work that you really feel pulled to really share and impact others with?
What a beautiful question. Can I just honor you, Elona? Like, what a beautiful question. And thank you for asking all of your interviewees that. So I lost the ability to speak when I was 6 years old. And it showed up as locked vocal cords. It led to stuttering. And essentially what it led me to do is to observe others, starting literally at age 6. And it was so visceral and so dominant in my life that others could show up as they chose, and I couldn't. So I started to recognize that that person's being a scaredy cat and that person's being a bully. And my whole, childhood, I observed that. So I started to study why people do what we do and what's behind our behavior. And then, of course, as I started to see society, I mean, why is it that the statistics are off the charts of people living in fear and feeling like an imposter and feeling not worthy and not being able to be authentic, not feeling safe? And I realized that the truth about showing up is the answer, but somehow as society modernized over the last 200 years, we've been taught things that just mislead us. We think we're separate beings. And yet, if you can read how I feel from the tone of my voice, how separate are we? When you can look at a stranger, look even at a photo, look at a flash on your phone, and you know how that person feels, how separate are we? So we actually don't stop at our skin and our skulls. Like we actually transpire right through this boundary. So that actually cures us of feeling like we're not sufficient. And for a woman thinking we need to somehow behave differently and can't ask for a raise, it literally cures us of these false beliefs. So it became very clear to me that the world needed to understand this model. It's filled with it's science, it's neuroscience, it's evolutionary biology. It's not a woman's pontification. And as you'll see, it's very heavily referenced.
Yeah.
And so it's supported by what we all know to be true. Why does meditation work? Why does breathing work? It breaks down the shell of our limited self and it expands us into the energy of the world.
I love that, Marcy. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I'm always like, a student of life myself. And I always find that just like, and the name of the show, The Life School, we all just, the way that things happen to us in our life experience are purposely there so that we can go and impact others and give back with what we've learned. And you just so beautifully shared that also from your personal challenges, which of course are where growth is. And
Right.
it's how we actually get to show up and make a difference for others, even though in the moments that we're going through, these challenges, nobody is obviously wanting to have them. But all of us, I think we have such a common pattern with all humans, right? Or at least all the people that I've interviewed in my life experience, that those challenges are exactly why we do the work we do, and how we build character, we build our resilience, we build values, right? And how we also get to help others. So it's amazing. So bring on the challenges, obviously, and let us grow together, because I think that's really the only way that we get to expand and create impact. Marcy, before I let you go, we've actually reached the end of this interview. I'd love to have you back, because I'm sure the concepts that we're talking about today, we can go in deeper and deeper into, and give a different perspective around each for people and mindset shifts, because I think the biggest transformation in my life has always been mindset shifts. Like, how can I think of something differently
Yes.
from what I've been, thinking about? Maybe that's what kept me stuck, and from achieving the results that I'm looking for. So I think it's really powerful what you have shared. My last question for you, Marcy, is if you could share, you're obviously a very successful and driven entrepreneur yourself. You've been on TEDx stages. You've been able to connect with amazing influencers in our industry. What are three impactful lessons that you have learned as an entrepreneur that you'd like to share with our audience today? And also, where is it that the audience can further connect with you?
Perfect. Recommendation number one, always remember you are choosing every moment how you show up. That's number one. You are making a choice either consciously or not. Number two is the choice is yours to make. How ready are you for your situations? How grounded are you in yourself? And how interconnected, or what I call all intelligent, are you in your societal role? You can think through those three things. The third thing is to recognize, is just to remember we're always in three roles. And if you don't think about that, you're probably going to default to showing up as just a separate self wanting power over or just getting stuff done. And that's not going to create the legacy you want. So choose how you show up.
Whew, that last lesson really went in deep, because I like to talk about ego on the show as well. So see, maybe that could be our next topic that we dive into. And how do we not operate from ego, but operate from service? And that's kind of what came through to me on the other side as you were saying that. And I'm sure the audience will walk away with their own insights. But thank you so much for sharing those beautiful lessons with us. And I know you also have a beautiful website, and I'm sure your book is inside the website for people to be able to find it. What is your website, Marcy?
ChooseToShowUp.com. And I'd love for people to be in touch with me. I'm doing a book launch, so I'll put you on there for a 99-cent ebook. And please go on the website. And there's a pre-launch version of the book. Actually, you can download the first 3 chapters, but I strongly recommend just contact me and I'll give you the link for the 99-cent ebook.
Beautiful. And let's absolutely support one another and further connect with Marcy, as one of our values here is connection. We just started the conversation today, and Marcy's doing amazing work out there in the world. And Marcy, thank you so much for coming on. And I really hope that a lot of the insights we shared are going to add 1 or 2 things that somebody can implement just by listening to this interview today. Thank you also, you, for always watching and supporting the show, sharing it with amazing entrepreneurs just like Marcy, and also subscribing so you don't miss any new episodes and the amazing people that we bring on. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time with another amazing guest and show. Bye, everybody.